How does the Sirtfood Diet work? Is it actually backed by science, or is it just another diet fad? And who's it best for? And what are the biggest dangers people need to watch out for? By the end of this video, you'll know the answers to these questions and have all the facts on the table to make an informed decision on whether or not this diet is good for you. And be sure to watch the whole thing, because I'm going to be pointing out a lot of logical fallacies that people make both in marketing and when evaluating diets like this throughout the video, so that even if you decide not to do Sirtfood, you won't fall for any of these traps with the next diet plan that you're looking at. Hi, Richard and Lucy here from coachviva.com. For unbiased, science-backed, and practical videos on fat loss and muscle gain, subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to be notified of our videos every week. And before we begin, I want to quickly announce that a few spots have opened up for the free one-on-one consultation for our Badass Body Loss program. So stick until the end for the announcement on that. Now let's get started.
What is the Sirtfood Diet? Sirtfood is a 3-week diet program that is based around eating foods high in sirtuins, or SIRTs, a family of proteins in your body that has been shown to boost metabolism, which increases fat burning, as well as fights inflammation and curbs appetite. Certain plants contain compounds that can increase the level of SIRTs in the body, and these are called Sirtfoods. These include kale, red wine, soy, dark chocolate, matcha green tea, buckwheat, walnuts, and more. But other things have been shown to increase Sirts in the body are exercise and calorie restriction. Keep this in mind, because we'll be coming back to this again later. Now, the Sirtfood Diet combines Sirtfoods and calorie restriction in a 3-week program that comes in 2 phases. The first phase lasts 7 days. For the first 3 days, you're limiting yourself to 3 Sirtfood approved green juices a day containing specific leafy greens, apples, and matcha green tea powder, and 1 Sirtfood approved meal per day. They have a recipe book that you can use for idea on how to create meals using foods from their approved list. This adds up to about 1,000 calories per day. Then for days 4 to 7, you have 2 Sirtfood green juices and 2 Sirtfood meals a day. This adds up to about 1,500 calories per day. Phase 2 lasts for 2 weeks, and they call this the maintenance stage. You have 3 Sirtfood approved meals and 1 Sirtfood green juice daily. After these 2 phases, there's no set plan to follow, although you're encouraged to include as many Sirtfoods in your meals as possible. You may also choose to repeat these 2 phases as often as desired for further weight loss.
First, let's start with the benefits and advantages of Sirtfood Diet, and then we'll talk about the drawbacks and dangers of the Sirtfood Diet. There are 2 primary benefits from Sirtfood. First, the actual foods themselves are indeed very healthy, but not because they promote Sirts in the body. And why do I say that? Well, that's where I want to introduce the first logical fallacy. A lot of people believe that if certain foods have been shown to have health benefits, then that means that 1, the benefits are huge, and 2, only these foods will produce such an effect. In fact, both of these aren't true in the case of Sirtfoods from our research. First, the benefits of eating Sirtfoods on increasing your Sirts have actually been shown to be trivial. In fact, Mike Russell, PhD, a nutritional consultant in Philadelphia, has this to say: you can't possibly consume enough of the foods recommended by this diet to increase sirtuins. Take red wine, which is included in the Sirtfood Diet. You would need to drink more than 40 glasses of wine for it to have any effect. Second, even if Sirtfoods do produce a dramatic impact on your Sirt levels, eating Sirtfoods aren't the only way to do that. Plain old calorie restriction and exercise can do the job too. Sirts aren't anything new or magical. We've been making them for eons. But that's not to say that Sirt foods are bad or useless. These foods are actually very healthy because they're full of nutrients and antioxidants that help your body function and feel good. Plain and simple. Keep in mind, I'm saying that the foods are nutritious. I'm not talking about the diet plan itself. Second, the Sirtfood Diet plan is a very extreme regimented diet plan, which means you will see dramatic weight loss in the first 1 to 2 weeks because you're cutting so many calories, but it will be mostly water, not fat. This brings me to logical fallacy number 2. Just because a study or testimonial claims that someone loses 7 pounds in the first week doesn't mean they're going to keep losing that much. because I guarantee you that the first week of weight loss on a dramatic diet is at least 75% water weight. So your body is going to be dropping a lot of water glycogen, and maybe even some muscle in the process because you're eating nothing but Sirt foods. You're going to be cutting out a lot of carbs and sodium from your diet, both of which promote water or glycogen retention. And because you're drinking a lot of green juice, you're likely going to be increasing your overall water intake, which decreases water retention as well. However, if you're looking for short-term weight loss and you do not care about whether that's fat or water, for instance, if you want to drop some weight for a photo shoot and you just want recipes to follow and not have to worry about counting calories or something like that, then this can work for that purpose. Although you don't necessarily need Sirt foods to do that either. You can achieve the same short-term results by cutting carbs or sodium for a week.
As for the drawbacks, we cannot recommend this diet for long-term weight loss. Here are the reasons why. First, it's easy for the weight to gain back once you finish the 3-week program unless you continue repeating it over and over. Why? When you cut out all foods except for what's on the approved list, like Lucy said, you'll be dropping a lot more water and glycogen weight at the beginning of this program than you will fat. This is something that will happen on all restrictive diets, especially ones that cut out carb-heavy foods. But what happens is as soon as you go off the diet, you'll gain all of the water weight back very quickly. This can be as much as 5 to 7 pounds for some people. Second, even if you do intend to just repeat the program repeatedly until you reach your goal weight, it's incredibly difficult to do this program for the long term. Eating only 1,000 calories is not recommended for anyone unless under a doctor's orders. Doing it for a few days won't kill you, of course, but if you frequently go back to restricting yourself to 1,000 calories on a routine, you will start experiencing lower energy, lower metabolism, and higher hunger and craving levels, all of which drive you to eat more, and from our experience, often trigger binges and disordered eating behaviors in people. For instance, the diet allows dark chocolate and walnuts as snacks, but what we have seen is that when people let themselves eat only leafy greens and fruits all day, by the time snack or dessert time rolls around, they're not able to have just a little bit of chocolate or walnuts. Instead, it becomes an all-out binge. Did you know that 1 cup of walnuts is almost 800 calories? That's like having 3 donuts worth of calories. This is why we see so many people come to us having eaten clean and healthy for years only to gain weight. It's because they weren't able to control the portions of what they ate. Now, the diet does say you can stop after phase 2 and go back to your regular foods, but the way this diet plan is structured may produce yo-yo dieting, especially if it's basically super restrictive for a few weeks followed by letting yourself go.
Okay, so if this diet is not sustainable, what's the appeal? Why do people talk about it? The main reason is celebrity endorsement. In this case, the celebrity is Adele, who has made tremendous weight loss progress and credits it to the Sirtfood Diet as being one of the reasons she did. However, there is logical fallacy number 3. Just because someone says that a certain thing helped them lose weight doesn't necessarily mean it's the only thing they used, nor does it say anything about how long they used it for. First, Adele didn't lose all that weight in just 3 weeks only doing what's in the book, right? Most people see her before and after picture showing a 100-pound difference and automatically jump to the conclusion that she lost it pretty quickly. Well, we don't know how many years it took her to lose over 100 pounds, but most sources agreed that 40 to 50 of those pounds were lost over the course of a year. So that's a very sustainable rate of weight loss of 0.77 to 0.96 pounds per week. Wait, you mean she lost less than a pound a week? Yes, and if you want sustainable weight loss, trading it in for slower progress makes a difference because slower weight loss uses more sustainable methods. Compare that to the Sirtfood Diet, which claims, and I'm quoting from the official book's description only, the program will help you lose 7 pounds in 7 days. And you already know that during the first week, it's possible to lose a lot of weight like that, but it's water weight. After your initial water weight loss, the rate will no longer be even close to that. Phrases like these aren't false, but they can be misinterpreted and lead people to think that they'll be losing a pound a day for the rest of their journey, which is impossible. Sirtfood wasn't the only thing she did either. Adele had a full-time trainer that worked with her 2 to 3 times a week, and then they actually ramped it up to 3 to 5 times a week. And they also got her on a super regimented sleep routine so that she had adequate recovery from her workouts. So when you have such a regimented plan and someone you can check in with so often like she did, it makes night and day difference on how much easier it is to stick to a plan. And I'm sure it wasn't easy for her, but I'm willing to bet it was 50 times easier than someone who's doing it alone. Remember that the Sirtfood Diet allows you to start reintroducing back into your foods after phase 2 if you want? Well, most people will regain all of that weight back when they do this, both water and fat, because they won't necessarily control their portions and calories after the reintroduction phase. But since Adele had a coach, it wouldn't surprise me if the coach helped her monitor her calories during her reintroduction phase. The bottom line is that the Sirtfood Diet recommendation has a lot of healthy foods, but not healthy eating patterns. So while adding Sirt foods to your diet is not a bad idea at all, the diet program itself is unlikely to provide long-term results if you just do it alone and rely on willpower to see it through. It can be effective for people who want short-term results, like if you want to lose a lot of weight to meet a deadline, but you don't necessarily need to eat Sirt foods to do that. You can achieve the same thing by, say, cutting carbs or sodium for a week.
Hope this review helped. And if you want to learn how to nail down a long-term sustainable nutrition plan, then good news. A few spots have opened up for our free one-to-one consult for our Badass Body Boss program. It is a very high-touch program, and so spots are very limited. So if you're serious, go ahead and click on the link in the description below to book a one-on-one consult for our Badass Body Boss program. And if you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, be sure to subscribe or follow us on Instagram, and share this video with whoever else you feel could use this information. And be sure to check out these 2 videos to learn more about how to lose fat and gain muscle like a body boss. You can do it.